Princess Diana's chilling letter resurfaces. What the royals tried to hide. What if someone predicted their own death, down to the exact details, and no one listened? That's exactly what Princess Diana did in a letter that shocked the world. In 2003, Paul Burrell, Princess Diana's former butler, revealed a note that she had written in 1996, just 10 months after separating from King Charles. In it, she expressed a chilling fear. She believed someone was planning to tamper with her car to cause a crash. The goal? To seriously injure or kill her. Princess Diana's words weren't just vague suspicions. They were specific. She described a plan involving brake failure that would lead to a deadly accident. What did Princess Diana know? Why did she fear for her life? And what secrets did she try to protect? In this video, we'll uncover what's inside this chilling letter and why some believe the royal family wanted it hidden. Princess Diana's words are not just a warning. They're a clue to something much bigger. Stay with us as we break down the mystery of this letter, the danger Princess Diana saw coming, and why the truth has been kept in the shadows for so long. This is a story you won't forget. Number 1. Princess Diana predicted she would die in a car accident. In 1996, Princess Diana wrote a letter that would later shock the world. In it, she said she believed her life was in danger and predicted she might die in a car accident. She even described the details, fearing that her car might be tampered with to cause brake failure. Princess Diana's words weren't random. She felt surrounded by tension and pressure, and her fears seemed real to her. Tragically, just a year later, Princess Diana died in a car crash in Paris, which many saw as eerily similar to her warning. At the same time, her prediction was dismissed by those around her. However, after her death, people began asking questions. Could something have been done to prevent it? While there's no clear evidence proving her fears were justified, Princess Diana's letter makes us wonder if she had reasons to believe her life was truly in danger. This letter remains one of the most discussed parts of her story. Number 2. Princess Diana implicated the royals in a plot against her. In the same letter, Princess Diana suggested that members of the royal family might have been involved in plans to harm her. This was a serious claim that shocked many when the letter became public. Princess Diana had often spoken about the challenges she faced as part of the monarchy. She felt that her actions and words were closely monitored, and she believed her safety was not a priority. The royal family had always been known for keeping their private matters hidden, which made her accusations even more surprising. Some people found it hard to believe that Princess Diana would think her own family could want to harm her. But her words showed how isolated and vulnerable she felt. The letter doesn't offer proof of any wrongdoing, but it reflects the deep mistrust Princess Diana felt at the time. Whether her fears were true or not, they give us a glimpse into the difficult environment she lived in. Number 3. Princess Diana suggested MI6 was involved in the plot. Princess Diana's letter didn't just mention the royal family. It also hinted at involvement by MI6, the British intelligence service. This added another layer to the story, suggesting that her fears went beyond family matters. Princess Diana felt that she was being watched and that powerful people were working against her. She believed MI6 might have been used to keep her under surveillance and possibly control her actions. It's important to note that no direct evidence has ever proven this claim, but it shows the level of fear and distrust Princess Diana felt. She was not only worried about her safety, but also about how much control others had over her life. Many see this as an example of how overwhelming her situation must have been. While we don't know if her concerns about MI6 were valid, they underline the larger issue of her feeling powerless and watched at all times. Number 4. Princess Diana wrote about King Charles' affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. One of the most painful parts of Princess Diana's life was her troubled marriage to King Charles III. In her letter, Princess Diana mentioned his long-term relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. This was not new information. Princess Diana had spoken publicly about it before, famously saying, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." For Princess Diana, this wasn't just a personal betrayal. It made her feel unsupported and undervalued within the royal family. The affair added to her feelings of isolation and hurt, as she struggled to find stability in her personal life while dealing with public scrutiny. While King Charles' relationship with Camilla was a private matter, for Princess Diana, it became a symbol of the difficulties she faced in her role. It's clear that the breakdown of her marriage deeply affected her mental health and contributed to the stress she described in her letter. Number 5. Princess Diana described being emotionally abused by the royal family. In her letter, Princess Diana wrote about feeling emotionally mistreated during her time with the royal family. She described a lack of care and understanding for her feelings. Instead of being supported, she felt like her emotions were ignored or dismissed. Princess Diana often said she was expected to always look perfect and follow strict rules, no matter how she felt inside. This pressure made her feel like she couldn't be herself. Over time, this treatment left her feeling deeply unhappy. Princess Diana's struggles with mental health were well known, and she even spoke about them publicly. However, in her letter, she shared how hard it was to find help and understanding within the family. While her experiences may have been unique to her situation, they highlight how difficult it can be to cope when there's no emotional support. Princess Diana's words give insight into the struggles she faced behind the glamour and royal titles. Number 6. Princess Diana felt isolated and lonely within the royal family. Princess Diana often talked about feeling lonely during her time as part of the royal family. In public, she was seen as a confident, glamorous princess, but in private, she struggled with isolation. In her letter, she described how she felt like an outsider, with few people she could trust or talk to. The strict rules of royal life made it hard for her to have close relationships, even with her own family members. Princess Diana also dealt with constant media attention, which made her feel even more cut off from normal life. She couldn't go anywhere without being followed, and this added to her sense of being trapped. The isolation Princess Diana described wasn't just about being alone. It was about feeling disconnected and misunderstood. For someone in such a high-profile position, it's clear that the loneliness she felt had a big impact on her mental health and overall happiness. Number 7. Princess Diana believed that the royal family threatened her children. In her letter, Princess Diana also mentioned fears for her children, Prince William and Prince Harry. She believed the royal family might use threats against her children as a way to control her. Princess Diana's role as a mother was incredibly important to her, and she often spoke about how much she wanted to protect her boys from the pressures and expectations of royal life. She worried that the same system that made her feel trapped could also affect their future. These fears added to her overall sense of vulnerability. Although there's no evidence that any direct threats were made against her children, Princess Diana's concerns reveal how much she felt she was fighting alone. She wanted her sons to have a chance at a more normal life, away from the difficulties she faced. Her protective instincts as a mother were clear, and this part of her letter shows how much her children meant to her. Number 8. Princess Diana felt she was constantly surveilled and monitored. Princess Diana's letter also described her belief that she was being closely watched. She felt her life was under constant surveillance, not just by the press, but by the people within the royal family and possibly intelligence services. This feeling of being monitored added to her fear and anxiety. Princess Diana believed that every move she made was being tracked, whether it was her conversations, her travels, or her relationships. For someone already feeling isolated, the idea of being watched all the time must have been overwhelming. While it's not uncommon for high-profile figures to have security measures in place, Princess Diana felt this monitoring wasn't for her protection, but for control. Her words show how much this added to her distrust and stress. Whether these fears were real or perceived, they paint a picture of someone who felt trapped in a world where privacy didn't exist, making her struggles even harder to bear. Number 9. The royal family controlled Princess Diana's life, including her schedule and appearances. Princess Diana's letter also highlighted how little control she felt over her own life. As a member of the royal family, her schedule, public appearances, and even personal decisions were tightly managed. Princess Diana described how this control made her feel like she had no freedom to live as an individual. Everything she did was carefully planned to fit the image of the monarchy. While this might be expected in a royal role, Princess Diana felt that these restrictions went too far. She couldn't make choices about her own life without approval, which left her feeling powerless. Over time, this control took a toll on her mental health. Princess Diana wanted to break free from these constraints and find her own identity outside of royal duties. Her desire for independence was clear in her actions, but the pressure to conform made it incredibly hard for her to feel like she could truly be herself. Number 10. Princess Diana felt unsupported by the royal family during her struggles with mental health. Princess Diana's struggles with mental health were well known, and she even spoke openly about them in interviews. However, in her letter, she shared how unsupported she felt by the royal family during these difficult times. Princess Diana experienced depression and an eating disorder, and she felt that her cries for help were ignored. Instead of receiving care and understanding, she was expected to continue with her royal duties as though nothing was wrong. This lack of support made Princess Diana feel even more isolated. She needed compassion and help, but the pressure to maintain a perfect image meant her struggles were often hidden. Princess Diana's openness about her mental health was groundbreaking at the time, but her letter shows how lonely and difficult that journey was for her. Her experiences highlight the importance of providing emotional support, even to those who seem to have everything. Princess Diana's story remains a reminder that mental health challenges can affect anyone. Number 11. Princess Diana felt forced to conform to royal expectations. In her letter, Princess Diana described feeling like she had to hide who she truly was. The rules and traditions of the royal family left little room for personal expression. Princess Diana often spoke about how much she wanted to be herself, but she felt that the expectations of her role didn't allow for that. She was expected to follow strict protocols, present a perfect public image, and never show vulnerability. This pressure made Princess Diana feel like she was living a double life, one for the cameras and one in private. Over time, this took a toll on her happiness. Princess Diana wanted to connect with people in a real way, and she often broke royal traditions to show her genuine self, like hugging people during her charity work. However, she felt this was not appreciated within the monarchy. Her letter reveals how much she struggled to balance being part of the royal family while staying true to herself. Number 12. Princess Diana lived in fear for her safety and well-being. Princess Diana's letter also described her fear for her personal safety. She believed there were people who wanted to harm her, and this fear grew stronger over time. Princess Diana felt that her position and her actions, such as speaking out on controversial issues, made her a target. She believed she was being watched and that steps were being taken to control her life. This constant fear affected her peace of mind and her ability to trust those around her. While some people dismissed her concerns as paranoia, Princess Diana felt they were real. The letter reflects how deeply this fear affected her daily life. She wanted to protect herself and her children, but she felt powerless against the forces working against her. Princess Diana's fears might never be fully understood, but they highlight how much pressure she was under. Her letter gives us insight into the challenges she faced, even as the world saw her as confident and glamorous. Number 13. Princess Diana believed the royal family prioritized their reputation over her well-being. Princess Diana's letter suggested that the royal family cared more about protecting their image than supporting her. She felt that her struggles were often hidden or ignored to avoid any damage to the monarchy's reputation. This left her feeling as though her personal well-being was not a priority. Princess Diana was a beloved public figure, and her honesty about her challenges made her relatable to many people around the world. However, she believed that her openness about issues like mental health or her troubled marriage didn't align with how the royal family wanted to be seen. Princess Diana felt that she was expected to keep silent about anything that could cause controversy. This created a constant tension between her desire to live authentically and the expectations placed on her as a royal. Her letter reflects her frustration and sadness about feeling like her needs came second to the monarchy's public image. Number 14. Princess Diana felt the royal family manipulated the media to control her public image. Princess Diana believed that the royal family worked behind the scenes to control how she was portrayed in the media. While Princess Diana was often seen as the people's princess, she felt that some stories about her were planted to shift public opinion. In her letter, she hinted that certain negative reports might have been encouraged or leaked by people within the royal family. Princess Diana's relationship with the media was complicated. On one hand, she used it to share her charity work and connect with the public. On the other hand, she felt it was used against her to paint her in a certain light. This added to her feelings of distrust and vulnerability. While we may never know the full truth about what happened behind the scenes, Princess Diana's words show how much she struggled with the pressure of being constantly in the public eye and the narratives that were shaped about her life. Number 15. Princess Diana was constantly harassed by paparazzi, which she felt was encouraged by the royal family. Princess Diana's life was closely followed by the paparazzi, who captured every move she made. While much of this attention came from the public's fascination with her, Princess Diana believed that some of the intense media scrutiny was encouraged by people in the royal family. She felt that this made her life even more difficult, as she had no escape from the constant cameras and headlines. The paparazzi's relentless pursuit of Princess Diana is well documented, and it became a significant factor in her life. Tragically, this pursuit played a role in her death, as she was being followed by photographers on the night of the fatal car crash. Princess Diana's letter reflects her frustration and fear about being under such scrutiny. While she understood her role as a public figure, she felt the level of attention she received was often invasive and overwhelming. Her experience highlights the darker side of fame and the impact it can have on personal well-being. Number 16. Princess Diana did not trust the royal family or their advisors. In her letter, Princess Diana expressed a lack of trust in the royal family and those who worked closely with them. She believed that many of the people around her were not on her side, and that their actions often made her situation worse. This distrust stemmed from years of feeling controlled, isolated, and unheard. Princess Diana felt that even those who were supposed to help her were more concerned with protecting the monarchy's interests than supporting her. This sense of betrayal added to her feelings of loneliness and vulnerability. It's clear from her words that Princess Diana found it hard to rely on anyone within the royal system. This mistrust shaped many of her decisions and actions as she tried to navigate her life independently. While the full extent of her fears may never be known, her letter shows how deeply she felt the need to protect herself from the people she believed she couldn't trust. Number 17. Princess Diana felt trapped in her royal life and longed for freedom. Princess Diana often described feeling trapped in her role as a member of the royal family. In her letter, she wrote about how difficult it was to live under the strict rules and constant expectations of royal life. She felt like she couldn't make decisions for herself or live the way she wanted. This sense of being trapped made her long for freedom and independence. Princess Diana's feelings weren't just about her role as a princess. They were about wanting to be seen and valued as an individual. Over time, this desire for freedom led her to make bold choices, like stepping away from certain royal duties and speaking openly about her struggles. While she achieved some level of independence, Princess Diana's letter shows that the weight of royal life continued to affect her deeply. Her story is a reminder of how challenging it can be to balance personal happiness with public responsibility. Number 18. Princess Diana desired independence from the royal family and their control. Princess Diana's letter revealed her strong desire to break free from the control of the royal family. She wanted to live a life where she could make her own decisions and be true to herself. This longing for independence became more evident after her separation from King Charles. Princess Diana began focusing on her own projects, including charity work, and creating a new identity outside of the monarchy. Her letter shows how much she valued her freedom, even though achieving it was not easy. Princess Diana knew that stepping away from the royal family would come with challenges, but she believed it was necessary for her own well-being. Her story inspired many people, and it showed her courage to pursue a life that felt more authentic to her. Even though she faced criticism and resistance, Princess Diana's determination to live independently is one of the most powerful parts of her legacy. Number 19. Princess Diana was worried about the impact of the royal family's actions on her children. Princess Diana's letter revealed her deep concern about how her experiences might affect her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. She worried that the challenges she faced within the royal family could impact their futures. Princess Diana wanted her children to have a different experience, one where they could grow up feeling loved and supported. She worked hard to give them as normal a childhood as possible, often breaking royal traditions to spend more time with them. Princess Diana's concerns were not just about their happiness, but also about the pressures and expectations they would face as future royals. Her letter reflects her protective nature as a